Okay, I think I got the wrong thing here. Let me... Crazy. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Oh, wow. Guys, so quick. Goodness. Thank you. Appreciate the support. I love the fact that you're here, and I hope you don't think that you're gonna learn anything new. Thank you for hanging out. All right, it's Sunday. 11 a.m. right now, and yeah, everybody, thank you, appreciate you coming in. Um, let's see. So, what are we going to talk about today? Of course, there's only one thing in my mind right now. Of course, GameStop is it. But hold on, let me fix the title real quick because I mistitled. I should fix this later. But I don't want to forget about it. So let me fix the title real quick. Let me say, I think Bitcoin is still at 94,000 right now per coin. Very, very exciting. How is everybody doing so far? I know it's Sunday. It's yeah, it's yep. So 40 no 40 94. Okay, right now. And GameStop is still inching towards the right. Okay, up and to the right type thing. So let's put that up. And give me up and to the right. Maybe. Okay. Save. Alright, hopefully that's fixed. I have no idea how many episodes I have already, you guys. It's crazy how, like, if you want to keep track how many, like, lives I've been on already. And have I been improving? Of course not. Like, it's a little tiny improvements here and there, but I still feel like I'm at zero at the moment. So, but hey, sometimes you learn something and then you don't grow. I mean, life happens. All right, so best to report. All right, thank you. What's up? Jay, I haven't seen you in a while. How's are you doing being a billionaire lifestyle? I know it's always a dream of mine to be in that spot where you are, having lots of GME shares and, thinking about that. I don't know, just kidding. All right, so um, not much, you guys. Of course, I feel like a lot of times when you talk about GameStop, right? I think people don't realize the gravity of what this company could do to the market. But at the same time, though, I feel like there's so many hidden, tools that these institutions could use to suppress the price so that, people become numb, you know? Now, I'm hoping that people are still excited about this and kind of keep an eye on what is going on. But I feel like it's been muted. Okay. Now, of course, sentiment could change at any moment in time. I'm not, I'm not, saying that it won't happen. But I truly feel that if there is going to be a catalyst to push this stock higher, it would be around this year. Okay. And whether it's going to happen this year or not, to be determined. But what I know for sure is that the institution has been kind of accumulating quite a bit, and we've been kind of seeing evidence of it rolling out. Let me show you the Fintel, okay, institutional ownership, because it's the best graphics that I could show of these big institutions buying little at a time. Okay. And so if you see these increase of ownership, right, you'd be questioning yourself. It's like, okay, what are they knowing? What do they know that retail don't know? Okay, the people that are not in this at all. Okay, not even thinking about establishing any position at all, because again, meme stock, right? And so when people are not paying attention, typically, I'm thinking this is the best opportunity, for people who have been following, been kind of, knowing what is to come. But again, just be aware that the price can be at zero as well. Anything is possible at this moment in time. But I don't think, again, there's no, while the price can be lower or higher within this next few months, the company will do very well. Okay. It's been like that for quite some time, you guys. Okay. So nothing changed except up and to the right, for sure, the fundamental of the company. And just tame your expectation, but also have the hope in the back of your mind that, anything's possible. That's the nature of investing, for sure. You cannot say, oh, it's a guarantee, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And if anybody tells you otherwise, I think that's a bit misleading, right? I'm guilty of saying those things as well, because I know without shadow of a doubt in my mind that Jimmy's gonna do well in the company itself, as a company itself. Okay, company balance sheets, leadership, and all that stuff. So half of that battle is already won in my mind. Where I think the market is now gonna have to come to that realization. And before they do, right, that's going to be our opportunity to buy as much as you can before that happens. And that's the nature of the market, you guys. I'm telling you, it's just that sometimes the market takes some time to even come to the same conclusion as we do about this company, that it is, hey, it's worth looking at least, okay? And by the time they are, looking into it, we're just inching along. And then, all of a sudden, just like, boom, seemingly everybody agree with you at one time. So again, the evidence comes in the price action already. Okay. When you see, what's happening? I just checked it this morning, and then it was, So XRP has been doing pretty well too. But anyway, let me go back to GameStop real quick before I just went off topic. But anyway, so I mean, if you look at the price action back 4 years ago, right? You could see people, psychology play out here, where Nobody cares. No, nobody cares. It's gonna go bankrupt. It's gonna do this. Gonna do that. It's not gonna, you are stupid for buying into this type of company. It's very risky, high risk. No, 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 don't touch it. Okay. And then all of a sudden you have Brian Cohen come in. It's like, and then people have a renewal sense of, optimistic in this company. And then boom, right? People, but you have to understand, like, what is happening over here? Like, what do you think the sentiment back then was? About how this company is going to be, where is it going to be, right? Now, if you go back to that time, I'm sure you're going to feel like, oh man, these people are stupid. Why are they buying into this company? It's going to go bankrupt in two years, max, right? We're losing money. We're not making anything and all that stuff, right? And again, even over here, it's like when Brian Cohen got in, people didn't typically like, oh my God, this is going to be the best thing ever, right? Yes, enough people believe in Brian Cohen, but not seemingly what is happening in the price, okay, in the market. And so it takes quite some time for people to even get to that, get to that conclusion. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh yeah, I agree. And then they just start buying it up, right? Institution as well, obviously. Institutions also guilty of the same exact thing because they want to make money. They're greedy, right? And they also have a massive amount of cash to deploy at once, okay? And so don't be naive to think that it's just retail here, okay? Because, again, human psychology, right? Human greed never change. Human fear never change. That psychology will be still playing out no matter what. And even with algorithm as well. Who code those? Human, okay? And yes, they might have an ability to execute based on facts, based on data, based on whatever, but those data are placed by human as well, okay? So it's still unpredictable. It's still that you need human guidance in order to make sure that the algorithm, play out the way that it should, or at least have some checks and balances and all that stuff. So even with the, advent of algorithm that could trade seconds at a time, you still need human guidance for that. That's what I'm trying to say. But, for those of you who are like very down and say, well, we need something to happen like right now, I'm sorry to say, you might not see anything yet until it's too late for you to see. So the only choice that you have is to believe, right? And if you don't believe, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, there might be other opportunity, you guys. I'm telling you, there's other opportunity out there. You don't have to be stuck here if you don't want to. Okay? And I'm not, again, with that being said, my position has already been secured in this company. Yes, I'm going to buy more whenever possible. Yes, I'm going to play a portion of, call options here and there, but not enough to, to make me a gazillionaire or anything like that. Just, again, small bets here and there. So, for example, currently I have 2 calls. Just 2. No harm, no foul if I lose everything there. Let's see. Now, I don't intend to hold this call for long, okay? Never. But for my shares, though, yes, it's there. So that position has already been established. And I truly feel the need to say this because I feel like there's a lot of sentiment out there currently when you have crypto runs like this, right? Crypto. XRP has been doing pretty well in terms of, the ETFs and all that stuff. So the the distracted news are going towards the crypto market here. Okay. That's not to say that GME is not gonna run alongside it. It could be because they are going to pump the crypto market a lot higher than the actual share of GME. Okay. But still, though, the underlying problem is still not addressed yet. It's the fact that this company has been shorted to oblivion. Whether they have been already covering little by little, we don't know. We could see some evidence of that due to institutional accumulation, small bits here and there. Okay. Oh, you know what? I have been ignoring these chat. Let me read the chat real quick. Cannot be much longer. Okay, players is coming, according to Jay. Cool. KCR, thank you. Okay, goal reset. The government meant. Goal reset. I don't know. I mean, are you asking? I have no idea. Goal reset is always going to be shaking up the market, if that ever happens. But seemingly, we do have a lot of gold in the treasury. Who knows? But also too, now you have Bitcoin to be competing with, right? And so it's an interesting time to live in for sure. And what a better time to know which stock to be in, what commodity you should be looking into, whether you should be in bonds or not. I have been kind of slowly getting out of bonds. I used to have bonds quite a bit in my 401k. Again, I'm only getting limited amount of, reallocation here. In other words, I could only pick a certain basket. I don't have the choice to pick an individual stock in my 401k. So had I do have the ability to do that, I would have just, went all in on GameStop. Not even just GameStop, obviously. I will hopefully get some Bitcoin as well. Just again for the long term, right? You never know what's going to happen there, but it's from work and they give me employee match, so of course it's a free money type thing. With that account, though, I've been in bonds for since June of last year, and waiting to have the news where Jerome Powell is gonna drop the rate very low, to 0% or more, or less, I should say. So that is going to be the signal for me to slowly getting back in. But right now I'm getting back into like smaller caps. Just I feel like the smaller cap's gonna do a lot better, and mid cap basket of stocks. But majority of my 401k is still in bonds though. So when I hear the news that it's going to be dropped, the interest rate drop, Jerome Powell is gonna do that soon, hopefully, right? That's what he was saying. How quick, we don't know, right? So the quicker the better, and that bond's gonna appreciate in value over that time period. And yeah, hopefully I'll be beating the S&P 500. Who knows? I might not. So I could have just put everything in the S&P, right? And then just wait. But anyway, I was just trying to time the drop of the market here. Not sure if I do a better or not at all. Okay. They need to have the current report there. Okay. They already said 1.5 treasury hedging. Company is looking long terms and doing their fiduciary responsibility. Building value long terms for all shareholders. GME is about to run and anytime. Now we will reset at least $50 area. Okay, cool. I expect more in Nat Turner and someone who is graded. I wanted him to revolutionize grading service. Of course, I think again with the demands that GameStop has been giving to the PSA team, I feel like that is going to be natural, right? A natural. It makes sense to at least mainstream it or streamline it somehow to get those graded card out as quickly as possible. And with the highest quality possible too, right? You don't want just like AI correcting this or anything like that, because again, AI could make mistakes, and then it's not becoming personalized anymore. It's just like a constant standard, like respond and all that stuff. So that's kind of eliminate the needs for human, and that's kind of lost touch. I feel like if that's the case, is going to create this sense of like impersonal, right? With collectability or collectible items, you want some personalized, like the human touch, right? And so that's a fine balance for sure. And I've heard Nat Turner talked about that too, where he doesn't want to necessarily get rid of the human to grade the card at all. If anything, he will use some tools to speed up the process, but still, every card that is being graded, it's going to be by human. Okay, so I think I like that better, because then what are you paying for? Right? You're paying for the human to look into it, not paying for software that could grade like thousands card a second here. Yeah, but anyway, so it's kind of lost the soul of the collectible. But yeah, for sure. Yeah. Jimmy has the leadership that think about the fiduciary responsibility, and even if they're thinking about adding Bitcoin, right? They are assessing the risk. They are assessing everything that they could do possible in order to protect shareholder equity or shareholder value into the future. And this type of leadership is not meant for the faint-hearted, the people who are just here expecting the spike at any moment and then left, right? So if of course if you are one of them, I wish best of luck to you, right? I'm sure you're gonna learn a lot more, or hopefully, right? If you are the type that only expecting that. I mean, I still welcome you if you are one of them that are here just for that spike, because again, that's what is going to create that market dynamic. People participating, and that is going to help push the price up or down. Depends on the sentiment at the time. But just rest assured that that the company in and of itself is doing their best to maintain the balance sheets, the growth of the company, whether through raising cash and to stash those billions as time goes on. There has been a theory out there that the convertible notes was going to help shorts, Credit Suisse or whatever, to get out of the position. Not quite sure if that's is happening, but even then, you get to raise the not ceiling, the floor to the convertible rate right there. Okay, so around $30 or so. That's fine by me if that's a case where, the short squeeze, the MOAS or whatever doesn't happen because of the convertible notes, issuance and all that stuff. But the point is, this is the growth that we're looking for. It's much more stable than a short squeeze for sure. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that, if it is a slow burn, more stable, people are like institutional level of investing will pour in much more, in my opinion, much more readily to invest in this type of company, because they don't want the wild swing, you guys. Like, if you want the institution to buy into GameStop, that's the only way. And I think leadership has been trying to get institution to take them seriously. At the very least, it's not trying; they are doing it right now, quietly. And whichever institution realizes it the quickest is going to stand to benefit the most. And even the shorters too, right? The people who have short position in this company, is gonna have to come to terms with it. Where, hey, can you ever get GameStop at this price? Will it ever goes down to $20 again from this price? Especially when they are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, will you see GME under 20 ever again, or under 30 ever again? If you haven't come to terms with that, then okay, you could still hold your short position and still feel somewhat safe, right? If you have the infinite amount of money to hold your position, great, do it. You might stand to gain billions of dollars, from whatever position you hold. But for institutions that are, making deals with GME, now I'm not saying there's a deal behind closed door here. People who are flocking in to buy into any instruments that GME's leadership's gonna, issue in the future, is going to be the one who survive. Okay, the last one to buy, that's the one who's gonna take the most hit. Okay, so that's just my assumption. Obviously, I don't have any data to go by or anything like that, except for these type of things, right? But these are already happened. Okay, this is the kind of lacking indicator per se, as to say that, okay, there's a lot of increase in interest in terms of accumulating shares. Okay, and if you were to look at this breakdown here, there's only 5 institutions that are short only. So not many hedge fund that we are actually fighting, you guys. Okay, so understand that information can be manipulated both ways. Okay, not just the downside but also the upside too. Okay, I'm just, again, cautiously optimistic here. So let me see, what is not ownership. Now this insider ownership doesn't seem right at all. When they are calculating it that way, I wonder if they are doing this intentionally. Okay, because we know that Ryan Cohen himself, okay, has quite a bit of shares, much more than what is shown right now here. And so with that thought in mind, why are they showing this? Okay, so when I see that, I have questions. Because if you scroll down, let's see. Okay, so they just exclude Ryan Cohen altogether, it seems. It's like, oh, it doesn't exist. RC Venture right there, right? 37 And he just add more, right? It's just add more recently too. So what gives, right? Why are they doing that? But it's worth kind of look into other data as well, not just this. Now, in terms of dividends, we used to pay dividends in the past, okay? And whether we're gonna bring that back or not, that'd be great, right? Why dividends is so enticing to me? Not so much, again, it's not promoting growth or anything like that. Some people like dividend stock, and typically those are institutional, buyers out there who, they like the fact that they get dividends from stocks, and there's a basket of ETFs out there that are just searching for these type of companies. And so when they pay dividends, it brings a new types of investor out there, and long-term investor too, because they are looking for those type of stock, and that they were hoping that year after year, month after month, quarter after quarter, they're gonna get some income out of the amount of shares that is being held. And so, again, dividends is always a good thing for me, anyway, for that reason. Okay, not to say that Ryan Cohen's gonna like that type of payback. I think he much rather using that money to grow the company in bigger, rather than just giving it to shareholders in the form of dividend. But I think dividend is coming, but I don't think it's this year. I think it's more like maybe the next 5 years or so, because then we will have more money than we know what to do with, type thing. Okay. Nathaniel is helping Ryan Cohen by allowing him to lead with his new idea. Okay, because I can. Hello. Digital and NFT marketplace will ramp back up eventually. I truly believe that too. Yes. It would be crazy not to at least grow in that space, because we already have a foot in the door already, and learn a whole bunch of stuff that has to do with that type of industry. And on top of that, now we have the ability to mint PSA graded card onto the blockchain as well. And there's a synergy in these two company, the PSA and Gamestop, that makes sense too, to naturally move to NFT as well. I mean, imagine if we have like the exclusive feature, and not only that, it provides real value instead of just JPEG on the screen here for money laundering type of scheme. So who knows? And again, like why would anyone pay $200 million on a piece of art of NFT that looks like crap anyway, right? But that was the early on day, right? When ETH was popping up everywhere. And so there's a lot of nefarious reason, in crypto here that scare people. And of course, in my opinion, it's being overblown for a reason, and it's being allowed to happen for a reason, because they want to hide, a useful technology in plain sight type thing, where they're not allowed, where they would tell you certain thing is a scam when it's actually very useful, just like XRP, right? I mean, these type of negative news and all that stuff is deterring people from really looking into certain things. And it's a tactic for sure, because they cannot make money on truth. just like what Jim Cramer is doing. You guys, like the same exact thing. Okay, so you have to be smart in knowing who's lying here, and the only way for you to know that is to research the company yourself, research the instrument yourself, whatever you want to get into, Bitcoin, XRP and all that stuff. Why are those coins are talked about so much, and why certain groups of people are so negative about it, right? And it's seemingly setting up for a mass adoption here at this point in time. Is it being planned already, right? That, okay, the SEC was told to go after XRP in order to put XRP on the map. Hey, there's a lot of strategy that is happening behind closed door that we don't even. I don't think regular people is ever privy to that. Not to say that I'm like some genius, you guys. I'm just observing. Throughout the year, the evolution of people hating on XRP, the evolution of people hating on Bitcoin in its early year. I think institution was the most, the people that hated crypto the most, because they weren't. I just think that there was not an opportunity for them to make money. That's what they, think, because they're like, well, it's a small market cap. It's only $100 million. Oh, it's only very small comparing to how much money they are moving, right, at the time. And so they cannot take advantage of that. As a individual person, I think we have more freedom to move our money anywhere than this institution. So hence, that's why they are, resorted to tactic like, oh, don't pay attention to this, meaning lying about it, right? Like they would go to the public and say, oh, it's a rat poison. Oh, it's don't pay attention to that one. If you want to lose money, buy Bitcoin. If you want to lose money, buy GME, type thing like that. And to kind of taunting people to say that they're less than a person if you buy something, right? As if. And those tactics, again, it's just psychologically to beat you down, to say that, oh, maybe I don't know anything about this company, right? So if you're not headstrong, if you're not heartstrong, if you're not convicted in something, you're more likely to be sway either way, okay? And so have your own conviction, please don't listen to me, don't listen to anyone who said that they know a certain price point. No, don't, because that's the only way that you would be, strong enough to sell, strong enough to hold, strong enough to whatever, right? And make sure you take care of your portfolio too, right? If you need something, obviously sell, yes. But if you don't, then hold. I mean, pretty simple, right? Very simple. And just because you sell earlier doesn't mean that you're like some sort of like, stupid, right? We're all stupid at some point, right? I always said that I'm stupid for selling Bitcoin, right? Years ago. So any amount that I sold, always regret it now, because it's close to $100,000 again. So I would have doubled my money now. But ever since, I didn't even want to accumulate more. Not that anything changed about my analysis of Bitcoin. It's just life happens, right? And so you just naturally forgetting about it. But anyway, coming back to GameStop here. KCR, I would like dividend at some point for Jimmy, but that would be many years in. For sure. Indeed, in income out of the share without needing to sell. Of course, yes. I mean, some institution loves that too. Very long term minded thinking here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like, see, this is what investing is all about, you guys. Like, you have to uh, be aware, of what you are investing in. And yes, what if you're wrong about the investment? Like, are you going to be the one to change your mind? Are you flexible enough to change your mind? And because markets are dynamic, you guys, like it's not just up and to the right all the time. Sometime it's going to turn down, but the long-term trend is what you want to look into. Okay. So with this one, I don't know why. Okay, so this is the graph. In 5 years, this is the spike that happened there. But what is this? Is this the price? Huh. $30? Hmm. Really? Am I crazy or Fintel is crazy? They're saying this spike is $30. Am I going insane, you guys? Please confirm. Please confirm. Okay, so yeah, sometimes these data I just don't get. Okay, this is a year. Okay, and what? Okay, so this is not the spike. But why are they? What price is this? Okay, yes, we hit 30.5 hours. So that spike was a very. This one? Day. Okay. So it's a 1 day thing. But shouldn't it register this price though? I'm so confused. So confused. Okay, that's fine. No idea what this is showing. All right. Let's just move on from there. Huh? It's hopeless at this point. Hopeless. Okay, so these are just technicals, and if you understand that, I'm sure there's a lot of TAs people, coming in. Earnings. So of course we know what is going on there. We did a lot on the earnings per share, but we're slowly inching back up to the breaking even in terms of operational costs. So yes, when you hear people saying that GME does not make money, you have to understand there's a different way to make money, right? Okay, there's operational and investment. Okay, through investment. So since they have so much cash, obviously, traditionally or a couple of years ago, we all know that they are buying treasury bond with that cash in order to create, interest. I know it's not sexy to most people. I get that. To get just 4% a year growth here, it's like, I could have just put money, elsewhere. If that's the case, why would I invest in GB? Respect that point of view, sure. But saying that, it's kind of ignorant of the fact that, GME has been shorted. So if you believe in that narrative, obviously, that the company has been shorted to oblivion and that people who've been shorting it hasn't been, paying forward, have not closed their position because they've been kind of able to kick the can down the road using various tools, okay? And the fact that they know the Federal Reserve, perhaps, right? They work shoulder to shoulder with them. I wouldn't be surprised if they print those money just to cover what GameStop is going to be, right? And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they started the Ukraine war just to slow down the inevitability of GameStop here. I'm telling you again, like that's me speculating. That's me, in a cultish brain here, fogged. Okay, so don't take any of this as a seriousness. It's just something I observe. I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. And so those type of tools is going to give you, give me the thoughts that, okay, perhaps that's what happened, is that they can't cover this. And there's just so many shares out there. And so they have to cover it up, right? Somehow, somewhere. And on top of that too, it could also be, certain institutions that have so much influence in the social media aspect, private equity and all that stuff. That part, that angle. That, have been successfully, infiltrating the media to kind of dissipate some of that effects on, short squeeze and all that stuff. That if it's been letting play out the way that it should, supply and demand type of run, it would have run so much quicker. But yes, somebody's gonna go under, and who are they going under? I mean, who are those people? The commercial buildings and all that stuff that plays out. Remember the commercial building that went under the Archegos, not Archegos, sorry, Evergrande. From the that real estate in China. Some of that is probably because of the short position in GameStop too, where those people were long on those commercial building while shorting GameStop, and so the recalibration of GameStop going up in value, they losing more money in value. So, and so again, it's spread too, right? Even a couple of years ago, you hear about the commercial building sold for $1 or something like that. Crazy, right? Because it's illiquid, they cannot sell it quick enough. And so again, that could still be slushing in the book somewhere of some major institution, banks, or who knows, right? Who's holding the bag here? Not GME shareholder, no. It's some over leveraged hedge fund that doesn't have the money to pay people's back. So that's typically what happened, right? And again, that's why such a media blitz on what you should do with your money in terms of whether you should buy GameStop or not. Seriously, and putting so much emphasis on how stupid Ryan Cohen is, or how uneducated Ryan Cohen is, or how lucky Ryan Cohen is to be able to Chewy, like operating Chewy as if it's a lucky thing. Oh man, just his luck, right? Just got lucky one time in his life. Like, okay, how many lucky people out there who just so happen to sell a company for $3.3 billion? It's like either PetSmart or whoever bought Chewy from Brian Cohen. Either that buyer is the dumbest people on earth just buying, a company from a lucky person, or not. But hey, I'm sure, there's some work involved there to be able to build that big of a company at such a young age too, So, at least some credit is given, should be given anyway. But again, because the power of social media, right? The power of money, hiring people to skewed public perception, of course, that's allowed, right? I mean, it's not legal. It's not illegal, sorry. People are like that. Um, let's see. Okay. Never mind. I haven't looked at the screen and thought you were talking about last week. Okay. They are okay. No, it was 5 years ago when I looked at it. Evergrande. They were evergreen. Thought it was Evergrande. No, I think it was Evergrande, something like that. But you know what I'm talking about. Canadian hedge fund. Yeah. Yeah, so again, whether it is Canadian who short GameStop mostly, right? Because they are involved in GameStop, short position. Citron, what's that guy? And Andrew left. Andrew, no money left or something. Moran says. But yeah, so those type of people are being either hired to do that, or they have this sneaky tactic in order to, convince the mass about a certain, investment that you shouldn't be buying into that because they already have, short position already. And so that sneaky tactic is something that you have to be aware of, and so that's why, you have to know the company's balance sheet in order to, come up with the conclusion from by yourself, because otherwise you could be swayed by these people, and just because they have the platform, able to go on TV at moment's notice, you tend to give them so much authority over whatever they're talking about. Okay. And people like me, people like Morans, who've been trying to tell people, especially Morans, right? He's been around so long telling people the right thing, but people keep saying, oh, who are you to tell me that? All that stuff, right? What school did you go to? How much money do you have for you to be like giving advice and all that stuff? Like, it's not about money, you guys. Like, don't be dummy, okay? Don't be stupid. And don't be like so naive to think that, unless you have money, you shouldn't be talking about money. It's like, really? Okay, what if I do have money? No, but that money comes from scamming people. Like, isn't that a difference that you should be aware of? Anyway, so why am I going ranting on that point of view? It's just to say that, if you are thinking about establishing a position in any company at all, is to look into the balance sheet yourself. If this deter you, okay, wait, right? If this deter you, okay, wait, right? But keep in mind, you don't want to just look at just one quarter, you guys, okay? I mean, at least 5 years worth of finances of the company. I think that's reasonable, okay? And what are you looking at? Like, what time frame are you looking at? Quarterly? Okay. Are you looking at trailing 12? Right. So to me, trailing 12 makes sense because that's comprehensive, right? For each column here, it's account for 12 months worth of data. Okay. So with that, this is the pain point that we have to overcome, right, as a company. Okay. Now, if you think that this company cannot overcome this pain point, then okay, don't touch it. Do not touch it. Okay. Because again, that is too steep for you to have a company that is losing $17 million, okay, in this fiscal year. Okay. Or in this trailing 12. Versus, a couple years ago, they were losing a lot more. Okay. So with that sentiment, don't touch it. Okay. However, like I said, there's more than one way to make money. So if you look at that and say they don't make money, don't touch it, then, perhaps you're missing something. So what are you missing? Interest payment. Okay. That is a snowball. This is the snowball that you're looking for in life. In life. That financial freedom doesn't come from earned income, you guys. You know that, right? Why do you think that personally, when you talk about people gaining the financial freedom, do you think that you have to work harder to get to that financial freedom? Hardworking people have been hardworking for a long time. But because they don't understand that money makes money, right? They're not going to realize that, oh, shoot, when people are able to print money just from the money that they make years ago, or, the government could just, again, inflating your money away, buying power away, because they have the ability to inflate. So with that, right, with that thought, GME has that financial freedom already. GME had done the work. Okay, yes, you could say, oh, well, he's diluting shareholder. It's like, okay, well, he did the work 3 years ago to keep the company afloat, okay, for 3 years. And not only that, not just afloat, right? To the point where people value this company so much after 3 years that they're willing to just give money away from, willy-nilly. But that takes, a good balance sheet for people to trust leadership enough to give them billions of dollars per share offering, okay? And so that in and of itself is not luck, you guys. Just understand that. Yes, some people are able to raise more money than others because they are expressing that trust to the world, okay? People trust Ryan Cohen, okay? Based on the result that you see on the balance sheet, okay? So don't be naive to say that, all of these people are just stupid. Okay, yes, there might be stupid people out there who bought into this company just because they think it's going to go higher. Okay, so if you don't know that you are one of them, you might be one of them. Okay, just saying. I promise you I'm not mad or anything. I'm just reflecting, on people, sentiment here, and my own sentiment as well, obviously. I feel like I'm a bit mature here in this way of thinking. But let's go back to, having the money to gain that financial freedom. And this is the definition of financial freedom right here. Okay. That leadership has done three years worth of work, to turn this company around, and is able to raise money on top of the balance sheets, okay, at the time, people evaluate the company and is willing to pay, for the share for whatever reason, whether they're just buying it because they think it's going to go higher, however price that you're paying for per share. But on average, you know this, on average, Jimmy was able to, hold on one second, let me go to my sheet here. Yes, so, okay, let me go to my original sheet here. Okay, so ignore this part. I'm just doing math on my own self here. But anyway, so the quote unquote dilution that people are spewing. Okay, people trust leadership enough to pay $20 a share to raise this much, $28 per share to raise this much, $20 per share to raise this much. Okay, and with that, and now you are adding. I should be adding more here. So let's do that together. Insert row up. How do I? Okay. Above. Oh. All right. So, I guess $1.5 billion. I should say this $1 billion. Oh, sorry. There you go. So with that, $1.5 billion, the shares converted would be 29.85. So yeah, so people gave leadership a vote of confidence saying like, okay, I'm willing to pay for this much. Okay, on average. So again, to me, that large sums of money that is coming in through share offerings is the vote of confidence for shareholder to buy. And this one right here was from an institution. Okay, so that institutional recognition is the next stepping stone. Okay, for the company to do much better than it is today in the future. Okay, that's another layer of financial freedom. Okay, for the company to do. And again, this is like, it's not a binding agreement that, okay, if you buy this senior notes, you're going to be able to, appoint some board of director. No. Okay. Not only that they have a better deal, that it's only, issuing 0% debt to the public, or not to the public, sorry, to this institution. This institution does not have the authority to appoint anyone, right, to the board of director in order to change any structure of the company. So that's another point that people may not realize here. Yes, they might, whoever bought into the bonds, right, might have the authority over those 50 million shares. Okay. And hopefully it's not just one, right, institution. But even then, will they have the authority to appoint the board in order to get rid of Ryan Cohen or any other board director right now? I don't see any language that are, offering that type of, structural change of the company. So I'm not worried about that. But to say that, leadership is not smart enough to realize that, it's pretty naive in my opinion. Okay, let's go back. And so going back to making decision whether you should buy into a certain company, right? To me, this is a safety net, okay, a moat or whatever, that any company would die is dying to have, right? And to see this and you're not even touching it, that's like crazy, right? But again, retail, they're not gonna understand it until it's too late for them already, until it's like, oh, it's going green, right? And then they're chasing that green candle, on a day notice, right? And then they sell, and then they're going back up again, and then they're starting to buy, and then pretty soon they are the one who buy at the top and then complaining that it dropped 20% a day. And so understand, the dynamic of the market as well, that it has nothing to do with this balance sheet at all. For example, if GME were to go down to zero tomorrow of price action, right? Just, people just don't buy shares anymore and just completely dump. Like sell GME like tomorrow, all of us are selling, right? Do you think the balance sheet any change? Is any change to the balance sheets? No, there's no change. They are still going to make this much, okay? They're still going to have this much money, okay? And even more, right? Depends on how much money they're able to net at the end of each quarter. And so with that though, I don't see any reason to be scared to invest in this company long term. Not at all, right? And, with the return earnings, look at that. So one more quarter perhaps, hopefully, or two, to get rid of this retain earning as a zero proposition. I mean, if we're able to bring in quarter one $80 million, that's massive, you guys. Now, is it possible this year? I'm willing to say yes, but I don't think so. Because of the discretionary spending and all that stuff, people are not spending. People are not earning enough, okay? And so who knows? But if we come ahead just, $30 million this year? This quarter, this coming quarter, first quarter? I think we're cutting pretty close if we're accounting for the interest, okay? So let's see. Where did I see? Not that. Right here. So last quarter, 2 quarters in a row, we are able to get $54 million just for interest alone. Okay, $54 million. Huh? It's like, how is this not register in anybody's brain? I have no clue. I have no freaking clue. To have the freedom to earn without having to work for that earning because of the interest, right? It's anybody's dream, for sure, right? If this is your personal finance in the world, you have made it. You did it. That you don't even have to work for your money to work for you. Huh? Ay. I know. I feel like I'm talking to the wall at this point in time, when I talk about GME to people who don't understand this. So, I don't know. It just, at some point they're gonna realize it sooner than you think. But I hope for them by that time they will understand it quicker than the rest of the masses. Okay. So um but yeah, anyway, so with the first quarter of next year, or sorry, this quarter actually, okay. It's so weird because they are pushing 1 month, so this month would be the last, right, into the first quarter. So heck, I feel like we might be able to come ahead by that amount, 81 million. Can you imagine, right? Again, including the interest payment here. So this is first quarter right there. Gross profit. Yeah, what guys, I mean, yeah, so last year we were doing much better um than this year. So yeah, $30 million less. But we do have less store, you guys. So less expenses here and here. Even with 100 million there, what was the profit margin? Was 23. Okay. So 23 versus 28. So gross profit margin increasing, right? That's encouraging. It means that we only have to sell, like, even the revenue's down, but the profit margin's up. Okay. So we are a better operator. Okay. So doesn't take much in the inventory in order to sell, to profit that much. So we could scale off of this right here, off of this model. Okay. And don't be naive to think that leadership doesn't care about growth. Okay. Don't be stupid. Okay. We are growing. We are going to grow. Just take some time. Okay. When people are telling you, oh, I don't see where GameStop is going to be. Well, yeah, nobody can, except leadership. Okay. So if you trust Ryan Cohen, to scale this company to the promised land, then there's nothing to worry about. But if you don't trust him, don't buy it. Simple. Don't invest. Don't care. Okay. Evergrande kept getting pumped up. Okay. Citron reset. Chinese zombie real estate for sure, yeah. It's been inflated for sure because of the Federal Reserve balance sheets, right? They want to be able to leverage those balance sheet in order to scam more people. To say that we have, again, could the government be implicit by this? Of course. They are in the business of, of doing that, deceiving people for sure. Why are we so why are they so deceptive? I just realized, you guys, I'm on the screensaver again. Like, so you didn't even see this number here. So I was showing this interest payment here. So that's the financial freedom that I'm talking about. If short attack GME all the way down, when the company would buy it back up themselves too, they are completely trapped in no other way out but to close and flip to the long side. Of course, I really think that, at some point they're gonna have to, because somebody's gonna want their money back. They're gonna be like, hey, it's been 10 years, I need my money back. And then they're gonna have to do that. I know, sorry, KCR. I just realized that before I read your comment. So thank you, thank you. All right. Happy Sharon. Hello, hello. Thank you. How many shares Roy and Kitty got now? Who knows? You know, last time he showed it was 9 million shares. So hopefully today he's gonna tweet. If not, okay, we'll wait. There's a lot of time to wait. Honestly, you know, for this company to flourish the way that it is today, and to gain a lot more, you know, sound investor like us group of people. Okay. Because that's also necessary, you guys. Like if you have people who just so short-term minded thinking, that they think that, oh, okay, let's just hit $2 million now and then I'm set for life. No, just like look at Trey, you know, Trey. I mean, look at how that large sum of money doesn't really fix anything, you guys. Like, you know, if you don't learn about the value of how much of an opportunity that was for him to grow even larger, but slowly, right? He did a video already explaining how he was losing $2 million. Like, heck, if I even have a quarter of that, I would have been able to at least learn to retire, semi-retire, right? Because, you know, I don't need much to survive. My expenses is pretty low currently, so thank goodness, you know, I have the ability to say that, because I do, you know, kind of intentionally keep my expenses really low so that I don't have to, you know, stressed out too much about earning so much in order to do what? Buying stuff that you don't need anywhere to impress people that you don't like, doesn't like you, right? So a lot of that, a lot of that mindset is needed for this type of people to realize, right? But again, hopefully he learned his lesson and all that stuff and is able to, you know, come back from it. But this is what the media would want you to do, right? You know, financial media out there, and self-serving for them, right? Because again, the more you lose, the more they gain, type thing. So just be careful to fall into that category. But anyway, GME leadership is the opposite of trade, okay? They're not blowing money away, any type of money that they're able to you know, sell shares to get. They still have those money on the coffer, right? You could see it on the balance sheet. So they have not blown those opportunity away to earn on top of the cash pile they have, okay? And they are looking for opportunity always. I'm sure leadership has been looking for opportunity, you know, in the market ever since they have the money. It's just that there's no opportunity, okay? There was no opportunity for them to get into, okay? Just like Warren Buffett, right? He has tons of money. He just felt like everything was just so too expensive based on his, you know, Warren Buffett indicator, right? So every smart person would look into the market and say, hey, it's overvalued. But the financial media out there would tell you, hey, you know, there's still more room to run, right? And so when it corrected, people freaking out. When it corrected, what happened? They're like, oh, this time might be different. Oh, I don't think it's going to bounce back up, right? Sell now, you're never going to see your money again. And then when you sell, what happened? The market went back up. So that's what the financial media is there for. Okay, not all of them. Okay, you just have to look into who is actually telling you the truth. on the state of the economy. Okay. And of course, everybody's talking their own back, including myself too, right? I own GameStop. Obviously, I'm going to talk GameStop up. But, based on the information that I have publicly available to me, I feel like GameStop is the best company so far. With leadership, though, of course, opportunity will present itself when they have the most cash to deploy. So currently, I'm sure leadership is just focusing on raising as much cash as possible in order to, deploy it at the, bare bottom. Right? Hopefully, they're gonna do some Bitcoin, right? Gonna buy some Bitcoin with it, and that's going to kind of give them a better edge than any other company out there. Yes, other companies are catching on to MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin as a reserve asset in order to grow. That makes sense, right? To grow the balance sheets of assets under management and all that stuff. So, how is it going to work? I don't know. Again, there's some new metric out here that will be honing on. Each company is going to be evaluated based on Bitcoin per share. New metric. Why? Because again, evolution of hard money, sound money in the 21st century. Okay, and since Bitcoin is kind of pinned up against the gold standard here, it's going to be. I mean, think about it. Okay, let's think about this. If you're old, right, you might be buying gold at this point in time. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, you might be wanting to buy Bitcoin with this. It's just, again, generational, right? Do you think younger people would like to store their wealth in gold or in Bitcoin, right? So generational for sure. Not to say like it's worth more than gold at this moment in time, but it's going to compete with gold in 10, 15 years or even 20 years, 30 years from now. Okay. So of course, don't not pay attention to Bitcoin for sure. And if every company is going to add Bitcoin to their balance sheets, they're gonna evaluate based on this. So I just did the quick math real quick. Just hold on, let me see. $1 billion if they were to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, how much would that be? Right at 69. No, sorry. Actually, my bad. So this math is based on GameStop buying that many Bitcoin, 69, 40, 420. Just a meme, okay, meme thing. And with that, and then they buy 4.5. Just me assuming, okay, the assumption that I have. And so with that, they're gonna come out to be this Bitcoin per share. So will it build in like that? I don't know, but I think it's gonna be most likely to be 3 times less than this. So divided by 3, because it's going to be $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Well, hopefully anyway. So I'll just wait and see. Yeah, so I'll just wait and see how much Bitcoin, or if they're gonna buy Bitcoin at all. Who knows? They might not. Yes, correct. That's a good mindset. It is very important. And now accumulating wealth. Yes, of course. I mean, if you're young enough to do this, you probably could do it in 10, 15 years, you guys. And just, again, had I know this, I could just buy $1 worth of Bitcoin every day for the last 10 years. you would be set for life, I feel, because with with this type of instrument right now, of course, Bitcoin was the um, kind of unexpected type of asset class here that nobody understood it until it's too late for them. So had you done the same thing with GameStop as well? I mean, if you buy $1 a day for the next 10 years, what do you think? How much money would you have, right, in GameStop share? Or just in terms of money too, right? So the key is consistency. The key is knowing what you hold, knowing when to fold, knowing when to buy. Not so much sell per se. It really depends. Right? If you need money, obviously sell. But the point of investing is to accumulate shares until you need it for a later date. Yes, for sure. Okay. Let's see. Now, let's move on to this idea of, short squeeze next month and all that stuff. Like people have been monitoring, this indicator that give you an idea. Okay, when it turns green, usually that's a possibility of, short squeeze and all that stuff. So, this is the amount of shorted, right? What does it say happen again? It's a momentum indicator. There you go. Momentum indicator. So it's been kind of downtrending for quite some time. This is a long dated one. And so now it's about to go the other way. Momentum going the other way. People are having fun with the AI thing here. Let's see. So with that, so it's happening. Let's switch gear to XRP real quick. I know there's quite a bit of news coming on XRP here. People have been enthusiastic about the new chairman coming in to kind of, to be the new chairman of the SEC. And pro crypto, pro retail, seemingly about the naked shorting, that it shouldn't happen, right? That it's a contagion on the market, that it should not be allowed to do so. And so with that kind of mentality of the SEC chair, it's really encouraging now. It's just hopefully he's going to take some action here to protect retail, so that these institutions will not have that tool to short into the market without borrowing. And if they do, they have a certain window in which they have to deliver that shares. Typically, if you create a hard rule, that if you buy a share, you have to deliver within 1 day. By the end of the day, you have to deliver, or you're going to have to pay fines, heavy fines. These institutions will not do it at all. It doesn't matter how much, how much money you're going to be able to make. You're going to, institution has to take the risk, and they're not going to take the risk if they're, get caught or whatever. And instead of fines, take away their license, right? Why not take away their license? If you caught not delivering shares to people in the brokerage or whatever, then you lose your prime broker license. Boom. You think they're gonna do that? Of course not. It's so crazy to me that these institution has been kind of allowed to do so much damage to the economy in this instant, right? Because this affects everyone. It's not just retail. It's institutions that are good actors as well. Pension fund, and all that stuff, they have to pay more money, in order to buy into any stock, when it should be very cheap, based on any other condition out there. But anyway, why am I? What is this? Okay, so it's not trading yet. So today at 5 o'clock, Robinhood is gonna turn up here. Let's see. I think one last thing before I let you go. I know I've been kind of on here for quite some time. Apologize there. Let's see. So the option chain, it seemed that there was, okay, so not much there. So I'm looking for this out of the money call and see if there's any spike of interest right here. Call interest. Okay, so I think now that we know June 12th is the next annual meeting, this chain might be the most popular one, the June 20th. So most likely to be accumulated by Roy and Kitty, perhaps? Who knows? Who knows, you guys? So max pain is 21 for that particular chain. Of course, as time goes on, it's going to be more clear how many people are, accumulating. But you could see that there are 200,000 calls, out of the money calls there. Yeah, gamma ram and all that stuff again. Could it happen? Who knows? Could they be kind of snubbed? Okay, snubbed, so to speak. Like I said, they have so many tools out there, and the only way to win, in my opinion, okay, is to buy whenever possible, and then just do it slowly, and not buying calls per se, but holding shares. You can bet on that, but don't assume that you're gonna be profitable in that. Okay, you might end up paying so much for that call option because of the IV crush, and IV's been kind of crushing lower within this couple of days or so. So just be aware if you want to bet on that. Understand what you're betting on. So there you go. All right, guys. I feel like I'm low energy at the moment, so I need to eat something. I feel like it's around lunchtime. I think that's probably why. Oh, what's happening? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. People are so funny sometimes. Okay, so let me kind of end with this motivational quote here by Tom Brady or whatever. But before that, it seems like we're selling a whole bunch of like high ticket items over here. Okay, so there's a Cardsmith currency card, and they're selling it in cases. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, there are probably vendor out there who wants to buy this and sell at the just one case for a profit for sure. But so this is a tradition to I guess camp out the store in order to get the Pokemon release, right? Midnight relief type of thing. So it's pretty cool that people are kind of, I guess, enthusiastic about going to get the games and setting up this so that they could play. Pretty cool. This ramen, look at this. Oh my goodness. Oof. Would you eat this? That chili, you guys. That chili. Anyway, sorry. Spicy. Okay, so let me leave you with this right here because it's inspirational. And then I'll see you when I see you.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up because it's one of my favorites.
There will come opportunities in life, you know, when they're presented to you, in front of you. It's just a matter of whether you're not prepared to take advantage of the opportunity. But you got to develop that resilience within you. Life is not about how much you succeed. It's about what happens when you fail. Right? So life is, you could look at like, man, what's been inspiring for me? If you said, oh, Tom, what are the greatest wins? I'd be like, the wins, those are, yeah. You know, let's talk about the losses. Those are the ones that really, you know, made me who I am. And you know, as you go through life, and we're all adults, things happen in life that you don't want to have happen. Whether you lose a game or whether things don't go well at work or something with your child, or, you know, there's a lot of things that come up in our personal and professional lives that just don't go the way we want. And how do you deal with it? Do you deal with class and integrity and with courage and with resilience? And are you able to share emotion with people? And do you have other people in your life that can help you through those things? And I think, like I said, my blessing is I've had people that go through those things with me. And, you know, they always say, double the pleasure and divide the pain. And that's what relationships are all about. When you care for those people and when you love them and when you give to them, they give back. And, you know, that's where the reward comes.